Good day, folks. I'm back. Today we're going to do I'm going to do a little spiel on status. Status is very important in this equation. I think something a lot of people don't give enough consideration to. And this may be a revelation for some people. Remember, it's all perspective, and I'm speaking in generalities, and you can verify the authenticity of what I'm about to share here. And contrary to popular belief, the governments do not have an obligation to respond to your communications or directives in any meaningful way, if at all. And keep in mind here that the borrower is servant to the lender. I'm going to read you something here from a fellow named Byron Beers, who wrote a book on acceptance. What does acceptance for value mean? Very good book. Just going to read verbatim. And I'll add in a couple comments for emphasis here as I go through this. But basically, he says, if you act like a surety for the United States, I add Canada, England, Germany, or any country/corporation that is registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission, that's my emphasis. Instead of a beneficiary of the trust, his officers have no duty to speak, and their silence is not acceptance. If you act like a surety for the United States, or any country/corporation that's registered with the SEC, you have a duty to speak, and your silence is considered acceptance. So he sums up very nicely there the situation with respect to status, surety or beneficiary. If you're a surety, you're dirt. So, looking from the government's viewpoint here, what they see in their records about you, your activities, your history, is used against you. You use their money, their FRNs, their credit, got a driver's license, SIN, SSN number, pay taxes, bills, debts, loans. You're acting like a surety, plain and simple. Plain and simple. You did it. You can fix it. When I say we're using their credit, that's because we're getting it. It's our credit that funds the loan. I get that, but we're walking out on the basis that it was lent to us, that we didn't provide it. Again, abandonment of securities is the whole basis of their what's being used against us ultimately. So no, they have no obligation whatsoever to respond to your communication in any meaningful way, if at all, nor to serve you or carry out your directives, not until you've corrected your status, which is what the Reclaim Your Securities process does help to bring about. It does bring that about, change of status, surety or beneficiary. The fact of the matter is this. The actual surety is your public estate. Remember, I said this before, which is held in the public trust. This estate is represented by the registration of live birth, your mom granted in the custody of an officer of the country, government, corporation/public trust. The name of this surety is the all-cap version legal name of your proper name. It is not you and never was, but when you act like a surety, do the things that sureties do, you appear to them lawyers, government, and other actors as the all-cap name that is the surety. It appears to them that you is the all-cap name, the public estate, the surety. You did it, and they're just following your lead. Think about it. That's what's in the information system. It's there. What the heck would cause them to think any differently if you don't communicate something to them? How you communicate that is key here, because if you communicate with the wrong status, like I just said, they're perceiving you're the surety / I would add to that / citizen, debtor, trustee. Your communication, you're wasting your time. Trust me. So you did it. They're just following your lead. No one put a gun to your head. The record needs to be corrected to alter your status, to get the surety monkey off your back. We can help you with that, to Reclaim Your Securities information package. Now, no doubt some people are going to see these videos and they're going to go forth and run with this information. These Reclaim Your Securities video information. My guess is that most, if not all, will get nowhere. And the reason is because you have not properly addressed the matter of status. So it's one thing to know that your status is incorrect, but now how do you communicate surety or beneficiary, and you really, this, speaking in generalities here, don't write them up and say, well, I'm a man and I'm the beneficiary here. That ain't going to fly either. There's more to this. You got to understand what's being conveyed in these videos, read between the lines and do your studies, or get our information package. There's some additional food for thought here for you. I get the fraud thing. I get the lack of disclosure of the material facts and the deception by the government, all these things that they've done to us. I get that. I get that. I get that. I get that. But there is a flip side to this. See, it's in the Bible, the Old Testament, that our fathers and their fathers were to uphold and maintain the laws, ordinances, statutes, and judgments of God, and to teach their sons, us, these laws and judgments, which they never did. So had they, let's think about that, had they, perhaps we've not have jumped ship and chose another king, or known of the consequences if we did. We know we'd be entering into suretyship. This is 1 Samuel 8, I'm talking about here. And pay attention to 10 to 17. This is where we're rejecting God. Again, maybe not knowingly or consciously, but this is what's happening here, legally speaking. And this is rejecting the laws of God, so that makes us fair game basically here now. And in addition to that, it seems to me that God says something to the effect, he that is sure is surety for no man. So that's a really short spiel on the status thing. It's very important to understand this. It's all part of the securities, reclaim your securities equation, everything we've talked about so far. There'll be more videos. I don't know what the future brings, but I thought this is a very important part here to add to the equation. The status, again, if you don't have the proper status, you're wasting your time with your communication, surety or beneficiary. But it's how you show up as the beneficiary here. It's the critical part. So getting, again, you can't just say, well, my mom did this and I'm the man here and I'm the beneficiary. They don't see men. There's no substance in this system. This is why we need the proxy. This is why we have the proxy. The proxy, what is a fictional person that you create out of your head. It's not registered anywhere on the planet, so you're in full control. The government doesn't have any tentacles into it, can't control it, can't presume it to be a trustee, none of those things. And that becomes your representative in the public. You're the voice, you're the CEO, the captain of the ship, but it's representing you in the public, not the man. It's like a Neo in the Matrix. There's the real man, and then the fictional thing, his avatar, or whatever. So that's kind of like I say, the clone image. In any case, in this case, the proxy is specific to representing you and your interests in the public. And that's the only way you're going to get bring about the status change. So the initial communication to bring about this change of status has to be based upon the means to get you that change of status. Otherwise, your communication will end up in the garbage. Or you'll get a typical form letter back like everybody else gets, or something similar. In any case, it'll be a non-response to what you're intending to receive. Been there, done that, 20 years, trust me. Done a lot of stuff, and I've been with a lot of people who have done a lot of things, and so we get to share a lot of what not to do. We're sharing here now what, from our perspective, what everyone has to do. So anyhow, let down the blame, except, okay, my dad didn't teach me the laws of God, I jumped ship, fair enough. I can blame my dad, I could blame the government. You know what, blame gets me nowhere. I'm gonna man up here. It's easier to correct myself, to correct the record, than to start trying to fix all the wrongs I perceive out there. And with that, I bid you adieu. I love you. God bless. Thanks for putting up with me. And until next time. Could add in here another status situation is you're presumed lost at sea. So presumed dead is not a good status to have, I don't think. And this is not a Securities claim here. Remember, we're not on substance anymore. They're dealing with securities. They're not dealing with actual physical states, but as it goes with when someone's presumed lost at sea, let's look at the Securities Act. The purpose of that, guys go to war over the seas, they don't come home. After 7 years, they're presumed dead or presumed lost at sea. Not necessarily dead. Nobody knows in those days. Of course, there was no way to, you just didn't know. So presumed lost at sea. However, when guy that was presumed lost at sea came home. What did he do? He would go and reclaim his estate. Well, today we do that by reclaiming our securities. That is claiming the estate. So when you do that through the proxy and do it properly, well, now you're no longer lost at sea, you see? So that's another status situation that comes into the picture here. And just thought I'd throw that one on the table as well. It's an afterthought to the first part of this video. Yeah, so more food for thought for you people. Again, so thanks for putting up with me. God bless. Love you. Ciao. Be good. God bless. Talk to you soon.